Hey y'all, and welcome to Stivers Homestead. I'm Zach, and it's crazy to think that this is Christmas week. 2023 is starting to wrap up. We've only got like 2 weeks left, and we are in 2024. So it's important now to start planning ahead of what the future might bring us. So usually the whole month of December, Jen and I start talking about 2024, what's our goals, what's our plans, what do we kind of expect, what's it forecasting to look like, and we're gonna get into all those details. So today I wanna talk about the top 5 things that we're preparing for 2024, and you should too. The number one thing, and this is gonna go in order from our priority down. Well, actually that's not true because the last one's the most important, so just forget I said that. The number one thing that we are prepping for, and the first thing that should come to everybody's mind for 2024, it's an election year, a presidential election year. That brings all kinds of things to us. So let's think back. Previous election years usually bring some kind of chaos. It seems that each side is trying to make each side look like they cannot handle our country and that they can do it better. Hence, trying to get the votes. So what that usually means for us citizens is there's gonna be some stuff happening. I mean, I don't want to prepare or plan for the worst because that is not what we do here, but we have to plan and prepare that there's gonna be some things going on that we either just need to shut off the TV and not look at it and not pay attention, or primarily just question everything that's happening. Don't just believe in every word they're saying. You gotta remember everything that's gonna happen next year or from now on is just to get your vote. That is it. So anything that's happening is nothing that they truly care about. It's all about caring about getting your vote as we get closer to the end of next year. So how we handle that one specifically is we find something else that draws us interest. I don't know, it'll be the summer, get into baseball, get into gardening, get into just anything else besides watching the presidential campaigns and the election that's about to come forth to us. Try to watch anything else. You can be aware, you can pay attention a little, but make sure that is not where your time in 2024 is being consumed at. Figuring out what's going on and who to elect and all this different information. You already know who you're gonna vote for. We all know that. We're not gonna be persuaded in any form or fashion, so don't listen to it. Don't pay attention to what that might bring us next year. The number 2 thing that we are prepping and planning for are more price increases on bills and food specifically. So it's been a trend that's been going on for a couple years now, and I don't see it changing in 2024. I see our electric bills, gas bills, water bills, grocery store bills, all of that continue to go up. Gas bills continuing to rise. So we have to be able to plan for that because we don't want to just complain about it, right? You know, that's not the life that any of us want to live, where it's just a life of complaining. We want to live a life of adjusting, knowing that we don't have a whole lot of control. My phone just fell. We don't have a whole lot of control of what's going to get thrown at us, but for our happiness, we can adjust to what's needed. So this is what we're doing to counteract the plan of increases in prices. Specifically in the bill category, let's start with the big one. Electric, gas, whatever you have, we have both. So those are, pretty self-explanatory on what you can do there. We have gas for heat, so we try to use our wood-burning stove in this cold winter months that we're in. Just dramatically decreases. I mean, our gas bill, I think, was $10 this last month in the middle of winter that heats our home. But being able to have a nice wood-burning stove or an alternative heat source to heat your house would drastically cut down on that bill. Same with electric. If you have electric heat, same concept. Let's try to find a different heat source that's heating our home and be able to handle that. As we move into the summer months, when you have AC, our AC is connected with electric, we try to turn that bad boy up. Let's try to sweat a little. It usually cools down. We're in Kentucky here. Usually cools down at night to where you can get a little break. It is very hot and humid during the day, but you can find other ways to cool off. You don't have to just sit in your house and have the AC on 67, 62, 68, whatever it is, and racking up that electric bill, because that one is the one I see that's gonna rise the most, is our electric. So let's try to figure out ways that we can cut that down. Turn off the lights. You don't need them on all the time. If you have oil lamps, don't just set them back and prepare for them. And for when you need them, when the power's out, use them. Buy some more oil that you can put in there and use them bad boys for lights at night. It's a nice romantic mood too when you do that. So let's just try to turn off some more lights. Let's not have as much electric running, and specifically with the heat and air, because that's the big ones that get us. Let's figure out ways to use different sources to cool down and warm up. All right, number 3. So this one's related to number 2 when it comes to bills increasing, but it's a little different. This is about the bills that we've created ourselves. So we are looking into downsizing and selling some of our toys or stuff that we thought we needed to cut down on the bill payments, to cut down on the overall amount that we have, whether that be trying to pay something off rapidly to where we're just gonna really focus on it and we're gonna get it done, or if it's, you know, that was fun, we thought that was gonna be a toy that we would use a lot, and then it not being that way. So you gotta weigh what you're paying and the joy that it's bringing. For example, we have a really nice Can-Am side-by-side that we enjoy doing. Last year, I think we went 3 or 4 times total, and we're paying a good amount of money for this bad boy. So for 3 or 4 trips in a summer or in a year's time, is it worth what we're paying for monthly? And this is those hard decisions that Jen and I have to make. We're probably gonna look to sell it just because we're not using it enough. We're not using enough to make that monthly payment every month, and it's eating away at our budget. They could go elsewhere for something that we do use more often. The second one is I bought a large truck. I have a 3500 Ram because at the time we had a lot of cattle and it looked like we were going to be hauling more cattle. That was the purpose of that. I had a 1500 before, and when I was hauling cattle, it about tore the rear end out of it just because they're so heavy. We're looking at probably downsizing the truck because it is a very big price. If you've bought a truck within like the past 2 or 3 years, you know the prices are stupid. Like it's almost a freaking house that you're buying, and it's absolutely insane. So that one had the right idea. It wasn't a want item. It was something that we thought that was going to be used more often. But now that we're down to 2 cows that we don't plan on selling, there's no reason for it. And we're not looking to increase large animal capacity as it is. So what things do you have that maybe you can downsize? I know, it sucks. I love my truck, but it's one of those things that are just eating us. I mean, it really hurts us on a monthly payment, and we don't need that. So what are some of the things that you have at your home that maybe that you can take off of? Do you have a boat that you never use, that maybe you went out or once or twice, and yeah, it's really nice to have, but it's not worth what you're paying for it? Do you have a large truck? Do you have too many vehicles? Do you have a vehicle that you could just sell? Maybe something that you have paid outright for and you can sell to help pay off something else, pay off a credit card that you have, or pay off the boat that you want to keep, but you don't want to make that monthly payment for. Get creative with your own money. We always try to look to how we can make more money, but sometimes making more money is getting rid of a bill. Because if, like our Can-Am, we pay $307 a month for it. That's $307 a month that's be back in our pocket each month, making us money. It's not always about selling products, working harder, doing overtime, working holidays to make more money, getting a third job. Sometimes it's just looking at what your possessions are and figuring out what to move on from. Number 4. So on this 4th one, it's gonna be more something that's right in our realm when it comes to homesteading and preserving and being self-sustainable. We're big believers on trying to grow as much of your own food as you can. What I challenge you right now, as we're in the winter months and we're getting into garden season of 2024, is look at your grocery haul. What in your grocery haul can you grow at your home? That's one of the hugest things that Jen and I do every time we have to go to the grocery. Are we buying something that we can grow on our own property? And start checking those things off, and that's gonna help you garden plan for 2024. If you've never gardened before and it might be your first year, there are so many easy ways to do this now. Life in gardening is easy if we put our minds to it. There's so many container gardenings that you can do, vertical gardening right on a balcony. There's so many options. You just gotta get creative and you gotta look at it. Figure out the things that you're growing the most. I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all, we're probably not gonna grow but maybe 2 or 3 tomato plants this year. We have enough tomato stuff canned up that it's just taking up space in our garden to grow as many tomatoes as we are. We'll grow a few for fresh tomatoes because we always love that during the summer, but we're probably gonna put a little bit more focus on green beans. And we're gonna put a little bit more focus on broccoli and cauliflower because those are things that we buy literally all the time. We're also maybe gonna focus on corn too this year. So it's gonna be very precise, very specific on things that are in our grocery because that food prices are going up. This is how we battle that. We substitute it by growing it on our own farm. But Zach, I live in a rental and I have no grass. I've all concrete. I don't see me being able to get out of here in 2024 and I don't know what to do. How can I do that? Well, this is that option. And this is for everyone, people that garden too. When you go to the grocery, there are still good sales that happen. Look at those, find them, buy that bad boy. Bulk buy it, and then you preserve it yourself as if you gardened it yourself. That was a lot of yourselves there. Just make sure that you're finding things that are on sale, things that seem like a decent deal to you. Remember, a good deal or on sale is what feels good to you. If it feels like it's a good deal from previous times, then do it. It doesn't have to be the best deal in the world. Find things that you can bulk up on. So if it's green beans specifically, right? Let's go find, maybe in the spring or in the summer when it comes down, let's go find a garden or a farm and bulk buy their canned green beans. We do it all the time. Before we were big into gardening, we'd sit around, snap them and everything. Everything was like we grew them ourselves, but we got them from a different farmer. We supported local. Or it could be at a store. If the canned goods are really, really cheap, bulk up on them, buy them. Have those things so when times are tough in 2024 or your budget's a little tighter than it used to be, you already have all these green beans in your pantry. You already have all these tomato juices in your pantry to make big soups, things that are easy to do. Make broth. We have done so many videos on how to make homemade broth. Everyone should be doing this. It is the easiest thing in the world, and it will add so much flavor to anything you make. All you have to do is once you get done with that carcass, you'll throw it in something, slow cook it for 24 hours, and then you have broth. These are things that we should not be buying. They're so simple to make at home, and it's time for you to start doing your own research. So remember, plan the garden, bulk buy and preserve it yourself, and look at your grocery haul and see what you can cut out buying every week. And number 5, and this is the absolute most important one, and if you've done the previous 4, like I just said, this one's gonna be a lot easier to do. Live. We've got to remember to live. We've got to remember not to work so hard, not to worry ourselves to death, not plan, prep, all this other stuff 24/7, and not live and have fun. I do truly believe there's a change that's going on in our world for the better, for the good. I think that the news wants us to think that we're all dumb. Everything on the TV wants us to, they believe that we are just dumb. Dumber than a box of rocks. We believe everything that we see. We're gonna stay in our home, sheltered, scared, because we're just scared to even go outside. I know that's not us. I know that's not the most of the world, and that we're smarter than that. So we're gonna go out and we're gonna live. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna take vacations. We're gonna do all this stuff because we've made the hard choices and cuts at home. We've been preserving and we got food security. So then we're gonna have a little extra money to go live. I know it doesn't feel like it right now. I know right now it might feel like you have hardly enough money to pay any bill that you have, but that's going to change in 2024. We're going to learn how to cut back on the things that we have to get that extra money to go do something. And remember, it's about whatever brings you joy. I'll never forget when Jen and I, our bank account, this is a quick little story, our bank account, it had to be positive for one day. And then we could take out $500 to go negative $500 every week. I got paid no money. We just had a kid. It was tough times. And it reminds me of a lot of how life is having to live right now. It's having to get creative. Remember, digits and numbers in a system that are just moving around should not make or break your life. Figure out ways around it, like we did. We went negative 500, then we would go to a place called Natural Bridge here. All we really needed was gas and to take some of our camping gear. We'd go off-grid camp there or backcountry camp, whatever you want to call it. And it was some of the most fun times of our lives. Just because you're broke doesn't mean you can't go do something. You can figure out ways to do cheap fun. Nature's free, right? Everything out here is free for the most part. You just got to find the best spots to go. Do not let yourself get into a hole and say, I'm too broke to go do anything. Get yourself out of that and say, I might be broke, but I'm going to go find joy in life. I'm going to go have fun. Because when you're having fun and you're enjoying life, the money seems to get better on its own because you're not worrying about it so much. We can't worry. We can do all of our work to plan and prep, and then we need to go live. We need to go have fun. So of course there's several other things that we could add to this list, but Jen and I thought these were our top 5 priorities to really set yourself up for success for a good 2024. Let me know down in the comments some of the things that you're planning for. What are you prepping for that differs from my list? It's very fluid, right? It could be anything that's on this list. But to me, keeping a sane mind, keeping your mind free of worry, getting those things prepped, having them in your home, putting a little bit more jingle in your pocket, and then having fun as the most important piece as we're going into 2024. Let's kick this bad boy off right. Let's do something for us. Let's enjoy ourselves, And don't worry so much about the digits that you just move around. Just moving numbers, right? It's just moving numbers back and forth, moving numbers around. Can't worry so much about them. There's gonna have a little bit lower numbers, gonna have a little bit higher numbers. Let's just do whatever we can to try to not worry so much about that and enjoy our lives. Enjoy our time with our spouses, enjoy our time with our children, grandchildren, or just yourself. Figure out a way to have fun on a low budget if you need to, whatever that case may be, just find it. That's the only thing that you should truly worry about, is figuring that out. Y'all, if you're new around here, I hope you hit that subscribe button. We love y'all, and until the next one, bye.